Welcome to Poets Pitch, where poets can pitch their piece and guarantee we'll catch what they're pitching. Here is where we break down the complexities and dive deeper into the poetry. Pitches will reach new heights with me, your host, Kiesance. Hi guys, welcome. It is Poets Pitch, the season finale. I'm so excited to have you guys here. So today we have Bradley Kraft.
Hello.
Thank you guys for tuning in. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great.
Good.
Excited to be here.
I'm
Super
excited
electric,
to
lit up.
have you here.
Nice.
I don't know. You guys are going to definitely feel his energy in the room. Like, we've been smiling this whole time and kind of catching up during the sound check. And so I'm so excited to just jump right into this. Thank you guys thank you. Thank you guys for showing love.
Oh, thanks, guys. Hi.
Yes. I'm so excited, y'all. This is going to be so good. I heard him on Instagram, and I was like, I got to have him on the show. And he's for the season finale. I'm so excited. So we're going to jump right into first base. So you guys can go ahead and start submitting your questions and any comments that you have for the poet as we, unfold and get to talking. Okay? So on Instagram, since I was already talking about it, your Instagram name is the French Fry King.
Yes, it is.
I need to know the origin story.
Well, a long time ago, it's been like 20 years
I
almost.
love the once upon a time.
Oh, it is. And because it's been like 2 decades. So once upon a time in a place called Canton Township, there was a Central City Diner, which has since been closed. But there was a food eating challenge. It was a 1.5-pound burger, like 6 strips of bacon, giant, massive, just behemoth burger. And after that, you had to eat a pound of French fries. And all my friends went, and I went, and
you had to do it by yourself?
Oh, yeah. I played 9 years of football as an offensive lineman. We're big guys. I run with a whole bunch of other, bumbles. We bounce. So we go there, and everyone just destroys this meal. And I finished the burger last. And they're like, you only got half an hour. You're never going to finish those fries in time. And they're all done. I'm sitting there looking at the French fries. I have this really determined look on my face. And I look up and I'm like, you guys, and so smugly they call me the French Fry King. I then ate 1 French fry. I'm done. There's no way I can't eat it anymore. They have not let me live it down ever since. And at a certain point, I'm like, how often do you get called a king in any respect? So it's
stuck.
Or just badge of honor. Yeah.
Yes, I love that story. Who was there for that? Is anybody watching who was there for that? I wish I was there for that.
I'm sure. Let's see. If not now, they will be on, but I'm sure.
Hey, Ari.
Oh, hi.
Okay, so as you guys can see, he has this great energy, this great presence that he also carries onto the stage when he performs his poetry. I want to know, with all this, extra enthusiasm and everything, there's poets that have poet names, but you go by your real name.
Oh, yeah.
So why haven't you come up with a poet's name?
Stage name? Why don't I go by the French Fry King on stage? I have thought about it, but honestly, I am who I am. You get what you get. I'm Bradley Kraft. That's who I am.
I love it. I feel like we're really getting the authentic you.
Yeah, this is me on a Saturday morning with coffee and an egg sandwich. It's the same thing. It's who I am. So outgoing, a people person. So I'm lucky enough to have a pretty universally Bradley Kraft, except the name. It's nice.
It's a nice name.
It reminds people of the cheese. There you go.
Okay, we have a question.
Yes.
What type of spoken word poet do you consider yourself? That's a good question. Thank you.
I would say eclectic. I definitely love humor. But the things I like to implement are wordplay, humor. Someone described me once, and it's one of my favorite compliments I've ever received. This is a friend of mine, Michael Gwen, who's a poet and a phenomenal host in Texas for poets, as a poet's poet. And it's that I really love just the writing poetry and getting in it. So when it comes to a certain type of spoken word artist, I would definitely say eclectic, because it's a little bit of everything, but I love to play. I'm a really playful poet. I like to have fun.
Someone said, Mike is such a wife. My king.
Oh, no. Let me see. Who said that? Oh, look at nope. That's one of the guys who was there for the French fry king.
Oh, I love it.
That's
I love
Lucas.
the
That's why he
energy.
says my king is the French fry king. It's a
Speaking
toss
of-
back.
Okay. Hi to all his friends. I love that you have that support
Oh
here
yeah.
in the room. That's what's up. So you're talking about your humor. Where do you feel like you get your sense of humor from?
Oh my gosh. It's wired into my DNA. Both my parents, my dad especially, is a really like funny guy. My mom's also hilarious in a very different way, but they're both high energy. My mom, like the outgoing, like electric energy all the time is my mom, and the funny playfulness is my dad. And they're
You're
both
just like a bundle, like wrapped up.
yes, I'm very, very,
I love it though. Aren't you guys enjoying his energy? Like it's so good. Like I've been pumped since he came through the door. He's like a energy booster. You don't even need like an energy drink or anything.
I only had this much caffeine before I showed up.
Oh, okay. Really?
This much caffeine. I'm a hound.
I feel like he's this way naturally though. Okay, so Rennie Mac asks, who is your favorite poet?
Oh, hello, Loren, my wife.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi.
Rennie Mag is the Mrs. Kraft. Well, Mrs. Mag, though. She kept her own last name, which is fine.
That's fine.
My favorite poet is probably Charles Bukowski, because on the page anyways, just because his poetry is very raw, and he lived a really hard life, but he was like a drinker and a partier and this kind of raunchy, rowdy party, but it's just like, you can just feel that from the page. I really like that.
So you really feel like his emotions and everything. Like
Yes,
you're really good at.
And I am a guy who likes to sip his bourbon when he writes poetry. So
Really? Cool.
There's a heavy, just kind of kindredship there.
Oh.
But not too much because his life was really harsh.
So, the first time I heard you perform, I noticed that you were comical, witty, and very theatrical.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Do you have a background in theater?
Yes. My mom is a retired English teacher, but she's also a former theater director. My dad is a former public speaker, and I was raised in theater and just public speaking for nonprofit events. I was on stage since I was 9.
So this is natural for you.
Yes, my grandpa was a choreographer. Like
I need to take some notes.
It's one of those things where it's just one of those like I was really lucky to have so much offered to me at a young age and growing up.
Yeah.
My teachers in high school were super. My English teachers were all.
So you like it allowed you to feel very comfortable in your skin early on. So
yes, I've always been. The door's always been open, and there's usually a stigma about being a guy in theater, but I've always had a lot of really powerful figures, both male and female, in my life, telling me just be yourself. If you enjoy this, go play, have fun. And if, you do that, and then you have a crowd full of people clapping for you at the end of something, you're like, oh, this is great. I love it.
Right, it worked out.
Yeah.
So Lucas wants you to talk about the process of self-publishing a book, and you brought the book today, right?
Yes, I did. So, Lucas, hi. This is my first book, Potbelly Waltz. You can find it on my Instagram at the French Fry King. The process of self-publishing was somewhat easy for me because I am surrounded by artists and editors. But I went through Amazon and...
1 second.
Okay.
Are we coming up blurry to you guys, or are you getting a clear picture? You can continue. They can hear us.
Good deal. Going
through Amazon.
Yeah, so going through Amazon and self-publishing through Amazon was actually a pretty smooth process. It has its own kind of rigmarole of putting things on there and cover design, but there's always people you can find to help you in that process through Amazon, or you can always hire graphic designers or figure it out yourself. There's always avenues to do it, but self-publishing through Amazon was definitely a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And the promotion through that was also really smooth. I just promoted myself, and I cracked the top 100 books of poetry for like a couple of days when I released it, which was, first of all, super surprising. I remember my friend texted me, buddy Charlie, was like, congratulations. I'm like, what?
Congratulations.
Then I looked and I was like, oh, and then for like 3 hours, I was above Dr. Seuss, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And I was like, this is
now you're really taking me. Oh my God.
Uncle Brad. I was strutting around my house.
I love it.
Oh
Thank you for suggesting him to speak on that topic. Yes, top 50. Woo, woo. Yes. Here's a bit. You know what? We're gonna give you some snapping fingers.
Thank you.
We can't hear them, but y'all can.
Thank you.
Yes, that is so good. Yes, congratulations. Yeah. So, your poetry seems so out of the box. What does your poetry archive consist of? Like, what does it look like?
The best way I can describe it is I have an ingredients book. One of the things I do is I have a book, and we had a writer's day in high school, and a slam poet, I forget where he's from, maybe Cleveland, suggested this. And it's a small notebook, and I have a million of them because I'm a scatterbrain and not organized. But it's just random, any line of poetry you think of that's not connected to a poem throughout the day, just write it down. Go back, pick it out if you need it. My writer's room is a just free-for-all of notebooks and
maybe
napkins.
Stick notes,
yes.
All over the place.
Yeah. Sticky notes, and even my desk at work is like, someone will look, and my handwriting's terrible.
So if something comes to you, you're like, let me write that down, even if I can't make it right now, I'm coming back to it.
Besides, like, I would just grab a Post-it note wherever I'm at, or a napkin.
Look at there.
Yep.
You guys better take notes if you're trying to get into writing, or you're already into writing. There you go.
Oh yeah, just write it down when you got it, because you might lose it. Some people put it in their phone. Something about that extra barrier of technology I don't love. I like that, just writing it down.
Yeah, I think there's power in writing things down. It's something like, I don't know, it's more intentional than putting it on the phone. I agree on that one. Sometimes it's quicker though. I try to bring a notebook with me wherever I go, but sometimes, the phone is always in your pocket.
Do I have anything to do? No. A lot of times I'll have something on my arm or on my hand.
So when did you start writing?
I started writing when I was 9.
So around the time you got into like theater?
Yeah, actually around the same time, yeah. Those two things didn't connect till later when I was in high school, but I had an assignment when I was 9 to write a poem, and I chose a deep topic about my cousin's biological father.
Oh, you went in deep at 9?
Yes, and she's like the most bubbly. We have very much kindred spirits in our bubbly happiness. And her biological father had left, and it was something that she had talked about at a young age, and we were like, very much like siblings. And it was something I had heard and we had discussed, and it's something I reflected on, and I was like, oh, that'll be a good thing to write a poem about. And I wrote it, and my parents, because I'm like a goofy 9-year-old kid with a lot of energy, read that, and I'm like, whoa! Like,
I know, that's how I feel. I don't even know what it says, but just like how you're describing it, it's like, really at 9?
Just the subject matter alone. And when I think part of it was I got so much reinforcement for writing it. People were so excited and blown away by it. And before that, I'm like a C+ student, B- kind of guy, strolling through on his personality. So when someone was excited for that, I was like, oh, okay. And I just kept doing it, and I really fell in love with it.
Are you a very observant person? Like, are you like kind of just taking in everything that's around you?
Yes, but also I'm like I have what I call husband eyes, where like, where are your keys? And they're right in front of you, and you don't see them. That's
me.
Yeah.
I'll have my phone in my hand, and I'm just like, where is that thing? I've done, not all the time, because like I'm not like ditzy or anything, but like definitely like if I'm like cluttered mind, then yeah, like 2 or 3 times for sure.
I have that ADHD brain where it's just like a million different directions. So I notice a lot of different things. I miss a lot of obvious things, but I don't catch a lot of good quirks.
I catch like the smallest things. Like if there was like a small book all the way over there in that corner, I would see it. Like I'm noticing like everything, but it's not about me. It's your show. What about poetry do you appreciate?
Oh my gosh. That's a big question. For me, personally, the chance to express myself creatively is just, any creative can tell you it's a privilege and it's something you live. And that's what I love about poetry personally. But as an observer and a listener of poetry and someone who reads it and intakes it, the ability to really get someone's raw thoughts and emotion on a subject or on nothing wrapped up in a beautiful package of words. And that's like, every poet's got their own way they wrap their package. Everything's got, they all have their own cadence. Everything is so specific and unique. And you get such a deep message, or sometimes a light message out of it, and you can be moved in so many different ways. And it really challenges your mind. It makes you think. Or it makes you laugh, or it makes you cry. well, someone once told me I don't get poetry. One of my buddies, he bought my book to support me anyways, but we were laughing about it. He's like, I just don't get it. I'm like, you don't get it, you feel it.
That part. I love your appreciation for that. That's beautiful. That might end up being the quote on Poets Pitch Instagram. You guys make sure you follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
And make sure you hit that subscribe button while you guys are here. We need those subscriptions. Come on, go ahead. Subscribe. And we're going to do...
Talking to you. Subscribe.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. We're going to take one more question. And I'm actually going to mix it with my question. Someone's asking, who has been your largest influence as a writer? And then Mike, I'm going to throw in, what is your favorite quote from a poem?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hold up. My brain's in like 20 different places. Let me bring it back.
You're fine.
My largest influence as a writer. There's 3 high school English teachers I got to give a nod to. Kathy Churchill.
Okay.
Jan Eggers and Larry Francis. Larry Francis is an old hat in poetry slam. Kathy Churchill was my high school poetry teacher. And Jan Eggers was my American Lit teacher, who taught me that I can write 1,000 words a week and to just keep my pen moving. Ms. Churchill taught me how to fine tune things.
She's the reason you have all the sticky notes around your desk.
Oh, yeah. Yes. They all are. And Mr. Francis taught me very much like sometimes you have to be non-nonsense with yourself and just lay it down. Don't people please. Just be yourself.
Oh, I love it. They taught you some really like core values right there.
Yeah, my high school English teachers were boss. It was incredible.
And look how you came out. And you guys, we're about to get into the pitch. So you're gonna see how they come into the play. And then your favorite quote from a poem?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Choose one.
Okay. I'm trying to decide between soloing as Buddy Wakefield right now. Blowing tunes through lunar wombs, impregnating stars, giving birth to suns that darken the skins that skin our drums, and we be beaten infinity over sacred hums. Spittin' funk like myrrh until Jesus comes. By Saul Williams, and it's a master.
That's a dope line. Yeah, I didn't know you was gonna know it by heart.
That's why I was rifling through for my
Not head. Like that. I mean, shoot, child.
Oh, yeah, it's...
So we're going into the pitch. Tell the people what you're sharing today.
Today, I am sharing a poem called Humor. Yes. And it's one of my favorites. It's a really fun piece. It's playful.
It is, guys. So without further ado, let's hear it.
All right. I was baptized on April Fools in the church of chuckling ass clowns, where the pews are covered in whoopee cushions. Comedians can be found in stained glass windows wearing Technicolor dreamcoats. And the good word is what knocks on doors in troubled times, offering strange hooks with unforgettably cheesy lines. The good word giggles in the bellies of nightmares and pulls smiles from mourners at the back of funeral parlors at the best tales of a dead man's most liveliest moments. The word is humor. Rolling feathered lightning, cracking the clouds, splitting the sky's sides with feathered laughter. Have you heard the word? Have you heard the one true word? Have you heard the one that slapped the knees of the apostles at the Last Supper to move them past a moment of tension that was too awkward to re-mention? Have you heard the yo mama joke Abel whispered to Cain that took his ego's pain a step too far? Have you heard the one-liner that Jonah spoke inside of the whale with his last breath of sanity that made the whale laugh so hard that he spit up his lunch and blew rainbow prisms out of his blowhole? I'm talking about the yucks that take a crying child's tears and turn them into flapjack flipped smiles. I'm talking about the funny bones that rattle in broken souls that are weathering hard lives and shattered time. I'm talking about the wakas on Waka wakas, walking on water, churning with whirlpools of turmoil, floating on heels, glazed with grins of silly sins that taste like seconds pickled in serotonin. My friends, humor is light enough to lift you. Humor is heavy enough to bring you back down. Humor is sweet. Humor is bloody. Humor is real. And when done correctly, humor is divinely healing. And without humor, life would be like a broken pencil, pointless. Yeah, it is.
Oh my God.
I'm glad I remembered the whole thing. I was nervous.
Oh, even if you didn't, like, you snatched our souls, put them back. Oh my gosh, show love in the freaking comments. I mean, in the comments, Lord Jesus. So we're going into the dugout so you guys can ask questions, show love for this poem. Oh my God, it's so good. Yes, okay, you're getting the snaps.
Oh, thanks, guys.
You're getting the snaps. You're getting the yes.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes. Oh my God, we're here. We're here. I'm so excited. This is such a good way to end the season.
So thank you, Jim Bruce.
Yes. Hey, EA.
Hi. Oh my gosh, there's a phenomenal poet. Oh, she's so good.
I love her so much.
So good.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Thanks for all the love, guys.
Thanks, guys.
So we're in the dugout,
Yes.
which means we're about to dig deeper into this poem. This poem humor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I love it so much. It's filled with wit. I got the Easter eggs in there. You got the joy. It's like you give me a new way. You give all of us a new way to look at the Bible. Like for something that's so serious, like you make it so like you literally made me want to go back and read my Bible.
Oh, nice.
Honestly, and I wanted to go back, even if it's not going to sound like how you said it. I can just probably read it and laugh now. You know.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited to get more. Yeah, we're about to go into these lines. I'm so excited. I love poetry.
That's so nice. I love people who love poetry. It's great. We need it.
I don't think I've ever laughed so much.
That's good.
Okay, what inspired this poem?
Oh my God. So the first line of the poem, sometimes you come up with a whole concept for a poem and you've got like a beginning, middle, in your head, or just the end. This one, it came from just the start. And my dad had an old phrase like, "What do you ass clowns doing in there?" And it's super funny. He was trying to be funny when he said it. He was. So, and I thought about being baptized on April Fool's. Just came in my head. It might have been on April 1st years ago. And I popped in there and I was baptized on April Fool's in the church. And I put chuckling ass clowns and said, when that was written, that was like, okay, we're writing a poem here. It's happening. This is going to be.
It's happening.
Okay.
Yes. How long did it take you to write the poem?
The poem itself, like the first draft, a day. You know, I started it, and then I was at my kitchen counter when I wrote the sonnet out, and it was over the pandemic because I was doing a lot of clubhouse poetry, and when I would be listening, writing, and then something might come to me, and then I would. When I turned off, I'd be at my kitchen counter still getting ready for work or baking breakfast, and I wrote it down. So I remember writing it down at my kitchen counter in front of my microwave, and I just stood there and boom, 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 wrote up paragraphs, wrote it up, and then I fine-tuned it at my desk.
Oh, wow. So it only took a day.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of cleanup and a lot of like...
Because I normally ask, why do poets feel like it was important to write that piece? And I can still ask it, but it's not even a poem that you had to come back. It was a struggle, and it was like, no, I got to get this done because.
No. I let it rip. Usually sit down and just go, get it done. And then the editing and fine tuning, or if something becomes a performance or a slam piece, that's a whole nother animal, or a spoken word piece. That's it's got to get dressed up and fine tuned, but the actual poem itself is usually day of, just get it out.
Wow. Shout out to his English teachers. Who were also poets, who set him up great. We have a question. Good question. Does music play a role in your writing and or performances?
A ton, yes. Who's that? Oh, yeah. The wifey, yes. she knows because she probably hears it late in the night. But yeah, music's a really big part of my process, and it's not. I love where I write from comes from an inner feeling at that time. It's not about like specific. I usually just like I feel a certain way. I let my ADD off its chain and tell it to go fetch. It's gonna get whatever, and whatever.
Going with the flow.
Exactly, and whatever music I'm listening to usually fits my mood and just it's fuel.
Wow. Like I want to touch you and let it rub off on me. But I'm not going to touch you.
My wife's like jumping through the screen.
Right. I'm not going to touch him. I promise.
I felt a shift from Ypsilanti. I'm like, oh, she's coming.
No, never. Okay, so we're going to just jump right into these lines, and feel free to submit more questions. And if, as we're digging into these lines, submit your comments as well. So you start off the poem with, I was baptized on April Fools. Mm-hmm. And you kind of already said, like, that just popped in your head. Because I was going to ask you, like, why April Fools?
It just popped in there.
And that there set the tone for the rest of the poem, huh?
Yes, I don't remember if it was April Fool's the day of or thinking about it. I don't know how it came in there, how that line, I don't remember the origin of that line, but just like popped in, wrote it down, and that set the track for the next line. And those two lines together just immediately.
Oh, wait, is that the line that your dad says? The chuckling?
He just goes, what do you ask clowns up to? And that was always... Oh,
so he's right there.
Yeah, when I was like, baptized on April Fools in the church, I'm like, what's a practical joke? What's funny? And I was like, ask clowns. Chuckling at and it's just all kind of the church and chuckling. I like the wordplay of the CH. I do a lot of alliteration. It helps my pen move a lot, so I usually just like surrender to it. So
okay, this is what this show is about. Okay. Yeah, and I love that it's like you're honoring your father in a way in that first stanza, and then for this to be like kind of there's spiritual aspects to this poem. So it's just like honoring the father, honoring like I love it. What's the overall point of the poem? Humor.
Oh man, the overall point of humor is that without it, life would be pointless. I like to, and a lot of it in the poem, from start to finish, it's wired through the church, because so much of the church, when people, regardless of if you are deep in Christianity, light in it, or in any religion in general, when you are living that religion and that truth, that is a big part of your life. And there's humor in all things, and humor is life as well. So I kind of just married those two together. The point of it is at the most tense times of your life, humor is there for you. And even if you can't feel it, it's there, and you can use it to revisit. You can use humor to heal anything from trauma or to just move past. I mean, there's that line about a dead man, best tales of a dead man. Like at a funeral, there's people in the back telling funny stories. There's people in the back healing with that humor when they're grieving. It's a part of life. It's a big part of life.
I love it. As you were speaking, I was just thinking about how like God is in like paradoxes, and just like how sometimes when things don't make sense, it's like that's funny, that's odd. Oh, yeah. That's my go-to saying. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So I love that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Right. In the next stanza, you say, I'm gonna just drop down a little bit.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Comedians are found in stained glass windows. Mm-hmm. So are you in that line? Are you kind of picturing those windows?
I picture Jim Carrey in a stained glass window.
I'm so glad I asked.
I was like, that line, I literally pictured Jim Carrey just like, and then I had a Technicolor Dreamcoat because I love that.
Also,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So when I read Wearing a Technicolor Dreamcoat, I thought of Joseph, King of Dreams.
Yeah, that's Joseph Technicolor Dreamcoat. I love that musical. That's why
it's my favorite.
I like to sometimes take the things and just mash them together. So I thought about comedians in general, but Jim
right
Carrey's
off
the first
the
one that popped in there. But.
Yeah, right off the back, I got Joseph, King of Dreams. I got the coat that his dad made him. So yeah, I love it.
And the iconography of the Catholic Church goes so well with so many. There's so many big figures, and when you think of comedians, there's like Bill Murray. There's all these different people. You just picture them in stained glass, like with a big smile on their face. It's just a warm place.
Actually, it just hit me. I love how you tied in those stained glass windows, even though you're not saying their color. Everybody knows like those old school churches have those color windows, and then you tie in the connection between those multicolored windows in that coat of many colors. Mm-hmm. You're so cool. You're good. You're cool.
Thanks.
Thanks. Oh my God. Just guys, hit the like button, the love button. I don't know where you guys are watching from, but like or love, show some love for him because like this is so good. So then we drop down. Mm-hmm. You say what knocks on doors in troubled times, and first of all, the lingo of the whole jokes, the knock jokes, but then it's like. The scriptures are saying like, guys at the door. It's definitely giving Jesus at the door, let him in. That's what I was getting.
Yeah, there's that. I once spoke in knock jokes for a whole semester in college. And so I'm very partial in the humor world. I love to try humor. And in troubled times, like there's always like God in. Let the universe speak to you very much. And across all walks of life, there's that like, if things are really hard, surrender yourself. Don't just fight the flow because you can't fight the hard things in life necessarily. You have to accept them and grow with them. And, humor's king with that. That's how you roll. So like knock on doors in troubled times. And like I said, I love knock jokes. So
you're so good. I mean, there's so many good lines and quotes from this episode alone, like, and we're only like halfway through. Yes. So you have another question?
Sure.
It's one of those funny questions you warned me about.
Oh yes. How does your
sweet pump chest play into your creative process?
Oh, God.
It's a question.
Well, I hate that you asked this. All right. So, man, I love working out. I love poetry. They don't go together necessarily. They're probably two of the most opposite things in my life that I really love. But honestly, going up on stage with a big chest and muscles is a lot easier than going up stage without them. I love it.
I love that.
And I'm a vain. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a vain son of a gun. Like, this is what it is. Like,
okay.
So I do enjoy having my muscles.
You're giving me I don't know the name of it. Wreck-It Ralph. When you did that.
Get a lot of that at work. Yes.
Yeah. So also in that same stanza, you say offering strange hooks with unforgettable cheesy lines. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't feel like the Bible is cheesy, I just thought Proverbs when I feel like Proverbs are like really good lines. And that's what did you like?
That one.
Oh, but I love because when you performed, I had to say this because I didn't know this when I was reading it. But when you said offering strange hooks, like God is like reeling you in type of thing.
For me, it's the joke. It's the anatomy of the knock joke. Knocks on a door. Who's there? And the strange hook is like, oh my gosh,
this is so good.
Hurts. That's the hook. Hurts who? Hurts, don't it? Like it's that. Unforgettably cheesy. There's no such thing as a good knock joke, but they're all. The second line is cheesy. The first line's a hook. Boo.
Yes.
Boo. Like.
Oh my God, it's so good. That's when you let your rinse come in, right? Yes. Okay. Building the confidence.
Yes.
I heard you've been in the gym, getting your gains in. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it does.
Okay, so yeah. I got Proverbs, but I'm so glad I'm so glad I asked. Okay, so the next stanza you say, the good word giggles in the bellies of nightmares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
They're the worst possible, and I'm a horror movie fan, so like touching on horror movies, like the worst possible scenario, like you're caught up, dude, with a chainsaw, just in life in general, like that moment of like, and everyone has at least one of these a year. Usually like oh my God, it's all crumbling. The tower is falling. I am jumping. Things are not going super swell today. At those moments, humor it giggles at it, laughs in its face. It's the only thing you can do. And like that, but touching on that, back to that horror movie is like, if you notice at the worst parts of a horror movie, most of the time, one character will say something funny. And in real life, that happens.
Right.
Someone has.
If I gotta laugh one more time before I die, I'm gonna laugh.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, it makes light of the moment and the humanity in the moment. It's a real person caught in that. And when you are in that moment, whether it's something you say, something you think, or something you see somewhere else, allowing that laughter to come in, like laughter laughs in the face of everything. That's what it does. It's a laugh. It's humor.
There's a meme on Instagram. that you just reminded me of, but then it slipped my mind. So we're just going to take the next comment.
Gone into the ethos.
Right. I'll come back to it. But I know there's a meme that relates to what you just said, but it's like, I'm just not going to even try. So EA says she loves your positive energy, as we all do, don't we all? Do you have a process for memorizing your pieces?
Oh my gosh, it's brutal. Yes, EA, I do. I have a mirror in my writing room. And it's the same way I've memorized just about everything in my life, in theater or poetry slam or any kind of performance, is that I get in front of that mirror and me and my ADD brain chisel it in slow and painfully because I have a terrible memory. And anyone who I work with will tell you, there's people I've known for years who I cannot recall the name right away.
I don't believe that. You just quoted your whole poem with the all of this, and then you quoted your favorite line, which seemed like a hard one to memorize.
Yes,
especially when it's not your own words.
That one I sang in the car a million times, or said in the car a million times listening to it. Mm-hmm. But quoting the poem or being able to memorize the poem, no, it's in front of a mirror. It's painstaking. It's not quick. It's not. So is
it longer than the writing process?
Oh God, yeah. The writing process is a blast. Like I'm having a party in my writing room and dancing. Mm-hmm. The performance pieces, I have lights in my room and turn on like a stage, try to picture myself on a stage in front of a mirror. And then I try to memorize it verbally. Then I try to memorize it physically with verbs. And then I really fine tune what I'm doing with the poem, pauses. It takes forever. But I'm a theater guy, so I like the perfection. I don't want it to just be organic. I like that organic at the beginning. I like to be able to have a little bit of shape on that. I want it to be polished when I present it. I
love that. Yes, taking the art seriously. We love that. We appreciate that, actually.
Yeah, my mom's a theater director, so I got to see, it's one of those things where she's told me the energy's always going to come through. They're not going to know if you mess up. But she taught me really early on, repetition. Do you want to memorize something? Just if you're going to get off book, you got to get off book that way. My college theater director, Gail, also said that she'd be like, you got to be off book by Wednesday. Like, I don't know. No, I don't know. Write it down and then repeat it and keep doing that until it sticks. And it sticks.
Yes, I love that. Thanks for the question, EA. And thanks for everybody else's question too. I don't want to single her out, but that's Poets Pitch alumni. Okay, so we're going to drop down. I love this stanza. First of all, I also wanted to note that out of all the stanzas, there's only one stanza that stands alone, and it's the word is humor. Mm-hmm. Why did you? I know that was purpose. Yeah. Why did you want that to stand alone?
It's a pause. So everything else, a lot of it flows together, like rolling feather lightning, cracking cloud skies, splitting silently. All this is but there's a pause, and the word is humor, and the poem takes a shift into more of it almost goes from Catholic to Pentecostal for a moment. It's it goes from a iconography, and then also it goes to this, to that, to this. It's a build from there, and that gives you that breath of it's the line is heavy. It's instead of all this big, this is what it is imagery. It's the word's humor, by the way. In case it's this big there it is.
I feel like if you make it the belly and the core of the whole
That's
poem.
a great way of saying it. I wish I would have said that. I would have felt so much better. Nice. Let me answer it. It's the core of the poem. The belly.
That's why it's there. It's right in the center. So we're going to drop down to this really, really cool stanza. I love it so much. You probably heard me over there super excited before the show started. Yeah, it was about this stanza because y'all, I don't know if y'all caught it, but he says, have you heard, ? Have you heard the word? I see it with quotation marks. It's not quotation marks there, but I see it like that. Mm-hmm. And then, have you heard the one good word? I kind of see that with quotation marks, but with a period. And then he says, have you heard the one? The transition for me, guys. Are you getting that? I feel in the past, I've always heard, have you heard the word, that good word? I feel like that's a saying. So you're taking sayings and you're stacking them, and then you throw in the joke intro. Have you heard that one joke? That's a whole intro into jokes, and the way you lined it up and let it transition into what you're going to take us into. God, this is this is art. This is beyond poetry, guys. This is that's artistry right here.
That's the change up. It's the feel. So it's I've seen it. You've seen it done. You feel it done in songs. Everything is that change, that boom. But it's right there. And we can tag one phrase to another like that and just...
In a day, though. You wrote this whole point. Like, there are so many gems in here, so many Easter eggs, and we're going to get to that, too. One of the ones that I really cool. But, wow. Like, looking at this poem is like, I'm so honored.
I'll say this. The day I wrote it, when I was done, it didn't look this good. It wasn't this good. I want to put that out there. But the guts of it were out there in a day. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you kind of played around with it later on a little bit? Maybe?
Oh, I had to polish it up, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But every piece of the poem that's actually there, the Last Supper, the whale, the page, the Cain Abel, everything was boom, 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 boom. The whole first part of it was written the way it is, and then the rest of it was on there written, but I had to add a little bit, polish a little bit up.
Okay. But this is like really good though. The next stanza you say, okay, so you got to go back and add that one sentence. Have you heard the one that slapped the knees of the apostles at the Last Supper to move them past a moment that was too awkward to mention? Tell the people what the specific awkward moment was that you are referring to.
It's the Last Supper. There's only one awkward moment. You got to imagine.
Some people don't know.
The moment after, so everyone's sitting around eating. Jesus has to break the bad news. He's probably looking, he's been thinking about it all day. He's not looking forward to telling all of his friends this, but like, hey, so you guys know, time's coming. One of you will betray me. And there's that famous pointing, and everyone's just like, who is that person? You see Judas right? Like, I don't know. Crazy. But it's that moment of after that. You can only imagine after the big, like, there's this giant silence of like, well, he said it. He's been right so far. We've been following him. This is going to happen. And this giant, like, oh my gosh, who's it going to be? What? And then
also the fact that you, go ahead.
Everything else in life. And at any meal, anyone who's had a family meal that's gotten awkward, what moves you past it? A joke, a laugh, a shared memory that's humorous. Mm-hmm. And I can guarantee it, the Last Supper may not be written, but something had to move them past it. It had to be something, a knee slapper. If it's something that heavy to move them past it, it better be a really good joke.
And speaking of the knee slapper, like when I think of a knee slap, like I think there's two ways. There's the knee slapper of like, that was a joke. Mm-hmm. But then also there's the, no, you didn't. Like, and really, that in that moment that you're describing, it's both. Like, the knees. Like, I love it. And then also, like, you bringing up the painting. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the meme on Instagram. Have you seen that meme where they're actually zooming into those faces that they were making on that painting? It is so funny. So there's humor in that. So the fact that you actually have like a stanza like committed to that picture or that moment is hilarious. You guys got to look up that meme. I'm gonna come back to that question. Yeah. So. The next stanza you say, have you heard the yo mama joke Abel whispered to Cain that took his ego's pain a step too far? What's the yo mama joke?
It's not a specific joke. The reason I put whispered in there is because like the story is about the sacrifice and about the jealousy of how his sacrifice was accepted and his what, but I always like there's anyone who's ever been around an older sibling or a cousin, there's always like that little spark of like if someone sometimes supposed to be like that little whisper after you lose it again, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna lose it. I know, and that's. But
look, this poem, like I was saying earlier, this poem makes you want to go read your Bible and be like, was there a yo mama joke in there? And that's why I said earlier, like you could have been a teacher, like the way you put the story in here, it's gonna make your students want to be like, okay, I'm gonna go read today. What was your response when I said you could be a teacher?
Oh, I laughed. No. I put my big toe into that water a couple of times. I like it. I love teachers. My mom's a retired 30-year English teacher, and a lot of the reason why I'm into the world of literature and poetry and a huge inspiration in my life. She's also just a phenomenal person. But the school has too many rules, and you have to get serious. You can't have fun all the time. I'm a fun person. I like to play. I like to have fun. And when I have to put myself in that box of rigidity, even for short periods of time, I absolutely lose my mind. I can't do it. I go home and I just feel so empty, even though I've done something so incredible by being present at a school with kids. And teachers who do it every day are, they're warriors. They're amazing.
Warriors. That's a good way to describe them.
Teachers rock.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna jump over here. You say the liner Jonah spoke with his last breath of sanity that caused the whale to spit up his lunch and blow rainbow prisms from. I don't know why I feel like I'm tongue tied.
Oh my gosh, believe me, it took me a long time to memorize without tripping up over it. It's
really? Okay, so it's not just me.
It's a beast.
Yes, rainbow prisms from his blowhole.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's because I'm parched, but okay, so why did you want to add this part in there?
A couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
First, one of my favorite stories, like Jonah and the Whale, something you grew up with as a kid. There's a few like iconic stories as a kid you really memorize, like David and Goliath, because it's like some little guy beating up a bully and like everyone talks about it. There's the flood and Noah and the Ark.
Yep.
And then Jonah and the Whale is always one of those like really vivid stories because it involves an animal eating someone, and how often does that really happen? And the person comes out on the other side okay.
Yeah.
So it's like this big like story. So when I was at this point, I was really thinking about different stories. And in my notes, I had David and Goliath, other stories kind of choose from as I was writing, jot on the side for ideas. But this one, it just comes naturally because when you tell a really funny joke, like I always think about a kid at lunch, like you tell a funny joke and it's like they spit like milk comes out of their nose, they're laughing and stuff comes out.
That's the meme. Okay, go back, rewind. The meme on Instagram that he reminded me of is the one where.
No, it's gone again.
Wait a minute.
It's out the window. I see it.
Say what you just said again. What the heck? I think I'm getting too excited, and it's like
spitting out stuff out of his nose, and there it goes.
This is sad. This is so sad.
I'll come back someday when it's ready.
What the heck?
Cool Runnings meme. Used to be the journey.
It's a meme on Instagram. Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
Okay, kid at lunch. Kid eating lunch, funny joke. There's a
meme on Instagram that says, if there's something like, if it's a serious moment, don't look at me because I'm going to laugh.
We caught it. It's a keeper. Put it on the wall.
Oh my God. We're going to have to edit that out. We're going to have to edit that out.
Taxidermy, that one's up there.
But
he works for it. It's here. We're happy. We're appreciating the meme. All right.
Okay. So anyways, this stanza, it was giving me, and I read it wrong. I forgot this line for some reason isn't with the rest of the stanza. I don't know why it's over there, guys. So that's another reason I was tripped up because I'm like, how is this what? Something's missing. So it really says, have you heard the one-liner Jonah spoke with his last breath of sanity that caused the whale to spit up his lunch and blow rainbow prisms from his blowhole? And what I took from this stanza was because you said I specifically asked him, I was like, what's the one-liner? He's like, I don't think it was any specific line.
No, but if you've ever, I just feel like he was so tired at that point. I mean, if you really, I took a second to picture, what kind of a joke would it be that makes someone spit up? And it's like,
then you thought
usually it's a one-liner, and
mm-hmm.
like a kid with his nose in the milk. I think about the whale blowing something out of his blowhole as he spits out his lunch.
Guys. This is so good.
But the joke itself wasn't anything specific. It's just like last breath of sanity. If anyone's in a dark room, you've ever been in a dark room for a long period of time by yourself, let alone the belly of an animal, which is a dark room.
Thinking you about to be
you start to lose your crap, man.
Yeah.
It's going to happen eventually. And
I love that. What I took from it was prayer changes things. Because when you say his one-liner, I'm just thinking he had to call on Jesus. That would have been my one-liner. If I only had one line to call. But that's dope too. If you were thinking like that.
Put that one in the pocket. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Keep that one. That's good.
Okay, that's mine.
But yeah, this is literally the belly humor in the belly, giggles in the belly of nightmares. He's in the belly of his nightmares, being digested alive.
Yeah, and I'm getting deliverance. I'm getting when you say he blows up rainbow prisms. Out of all things to say and describe how it come up, I thought about when I think of the rainbow, I think of promises made from God. Nice. And you had just came out of. Well, no, you just brought it up. The Noah's Ark. He's not in there.
No.
But yeah, that's what I think of. So I just had to say that. The next stanza, I just want to it just made me smile. He says, my friends, I'm talking about the yucks that take a crying child's tears and flip them into flapjack smiles. And I literally just smiled at that stanza. I just had to say it. I literally just wrote a smiley face. It's it's highlighted. I just smiled. I love that.
I work with kids, and especially at a young age, if they're not crying, usually when they're crying over something that's like small or little, or to them it's like the worst world-ending thing. But one of the most beautiful gifts children have is a short attention span. And if you can
Crying
just
1 minute.
see that with a funny like, rah,
They're
all of a
smiling
sudden they will like, boop, oh, that's funny. And
I
they just
love that.
what's
And I
amazing
love
is
that you say like the flapjack, like it's just a flip, like just a matter.
It's a switch, flapjack, one side to the other. Oh, okay. And they just walk out like the world wasn't ending 2 seconds ago, and then they're eating a cheese sandwich. But
the way you describe things is just wow.
I'm a talker.
So we jump down again to another stanza, and you say, I'm talking about the wakas, on waka wakas, walking on water, which it just hit me because it's kind of like walking, but okay, I love it. But that's an Easter egg. Tell them what that Easter egg is.
Oh, the Waka Waka from Sesame Street, Fozzie the Bear. And he'd tell a joke like, Waka Waka! And that's a classic like laugh, like Waka Waka.
Yeah.
And I love wordplay and I love alliteration. And
you do
that
a
was
really
one of
good
those
job
as
with
I was writing. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's one of those as I was writing it. That was day one writing, like Waka Wakas. I'm thinking jokes about it. Just Waka Wakas walking on water. WWWW. I was like, okay, here we go. We're just gonna keep going with it. And yeah,
I love it.
So yeah, that was a little Easter egg of Sesame Street.
Yes. And the last stanza that I want to jump into, I'm kind of just going to connect those two.
Yeah, for sure.
He says, humor is light enough to lift you. Humor is heavy enough to bring you back down. Humor is sweet, bloody, spoken, felt. When done correctly, it is divinely healing. Without humor, life would be like a broken pencil, pointless. What a beautiful way to end this poem, first of all. Like, it's just clean. It's like you flossed it. It's no chicken between the teeth, okay? What? Oh, I hit the mic. My bad. What made you act? Because you can't see it, but he's like, it's one line. What made you act like in this list of things? What made you include everything on that list?
Okay, so light enough to lift you. Just when you're feeling sad, it makes your spirits up. Something funny happens. Someone says something funny, the right thing. You're okay. And when you're really sad, heavy enough to bring you back down. Because like when someone is really losing their stuff, I mean, like they're just the world is. But humor can just root you.
You want to feel grounded.
Yeah. When someone tells you a funny joke, at that point, you're not getting any more worked up. You're like, like just that one moment of like a breath and a laugh because something broke you from that chain of like going everywhere, just heavy enough to bring you back down.
Yes. And then how is humor sweet, bloody, spoken, felt?
Humor is sweet because humor can be an adorable little like joke to your wife or this and that. You both have a little cackle, inside joke. Humor is bloody. It's hilarious because that one got added in because the week I was supposed to perform this at a poetry slam, a certain incident occurred at a awards show involving Will Smith. I was like, there's
no way we know this, guys.
No. So I was like, oh no.
And that joke ended up, that's the.
I didn't know. I wasn't watching it live. Someone texted me. I was like, oh my gosh, like that doesn't seem like that's so.
And then it was like, okay.
Hate violence. But humor is bloody. And honestly, another reason as I wrote that, and I really do believe this, is like good humor does draw a little blood. It doesn't have to, but what it does, like, it is a little like, whoo, like it get that little like lift that valve, like, oh, okay.
When I hear blood, I think of like the flesh. And when I think of the flesh, I think of a person. I think of it like identity. So there's identity in that humor always. I think the best jokes have truth to them.
Yes.
And so that's what I get from what you just said.
Oh, I like that. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're getting me deep over here.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then what made you throw the pencil line in there?
So I work with children with autism, and one of the things we do, and this has been at multiple clinics I've worked at, is teach knock-knock jokes. And my all-time favorite knock-knock joke, my all-time favorite strange hook, cheesy line is, knock, knock, who's there? Broken pencil. Broken pencil who? Never mind, this joke's pointless.
Well, there you have it.
And I wanted to make sure I included that, and I didn't know it was going to be the end. It was written on the side that at the end, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, and that was it.
One of those sticky notes, just stamp it. I love it. And I'm so grateful for you digging into this poem with us. My last question would be, what do you feel people miss from this poem that you really want them to get and take away? What do you want people to take away from this poem?
A laugh. I want you to laugh, have a good time. A lot of people, and the church was brought into this poem because I grew up in a family that really had fun in the process of going to church when we did. We were not like super hardcore every Sunday people. We're pretty laxed and hippy-dippy, eclectic, all religions, liberal. But we haven't been excommunicated yet either. So and going to church when you have a sibling with autism, my brother Jimmy has autism, and he's hilarious and adorable. And the whole family kind of follows that same beat of being hilarious and adorable. But you have that row of families just like, kneel, stand, Catholic
serious
church,
matter.
the same old, like, all right, he's up there on the cross, we are here. Everyone better toe it up. And then you have like my family, the Krafts in the back, sitting there. My brother kind of, you have to have a sense of humor there. And so the message I would be, people often ask, like, why is there a thing between church and humor? And why is it in this poem? And it's because, like, your faith, your love, your life, all of it is humor. Don't take it too seriously, please. I am begging you. Don't take it too. The world needs you to laugh.
Yes, I love it. Let it be your joy, or part of your joy. So that's the dugout, and now we're moving into the home run, and the home run just means, y'all, we about to wrap this up. If you haven't already, again, hit the like button, subscribe. We need those subscriptions, and we really appreciate them. So we are in the dugout. Any upcoming shows, somewhere we can see you perform? Do you have a book that we can? Someone was asking when it, okay, I saved it for last. When is your next book coming out? Where can I get your current book from?
Oh, it's my boy. Great. Well, my book currently, Potbelly Waltz, which I'm going to shamelessly grab right now.
The link is in the bio.
Link is in the bio. It is on my Instagram as well, at the French Fry King. It's on Amazon. It's a simple click, swoop to purchase, but my second book is on its way. I don't want to give away the title yet, but when I do, it's going to be a big release. I promise I'll let you know. We can do another thing on it. It's going to be
absolutely.
I plan on doing a lot with this release of my second book, and it is very close. It's in the hands of the editors now. The cover is being designed by a very talented artist who I happen to know and be married to.
I knew it.
The layout's going to be done by another. I'm lucky enough to have a giant collective of artists and musicians and theater buffs and lighting guys just surrounding me.
Give your shout out. This is your moment.
Well, the guy. Like pretty much everyone who's talked here, my wife, Lucas, Greg, all these people are very connected to either videography that is going to help bring my word out there, or art, or lighting and music. People are here and people who are not here as well. There's a lot of people connected who have really helped me. My buddy Charlie, who was literally driven across state lines to take me to see other poets perform because he knew I'd be inspired to do my own thing. They're surrounded by good, loving people, friends, family, the whole shebang. So love you guys. Thank you.
Yes, and I want to give a shout out to all of my viewers, everyone who's been tuning in for the first time, or who've been constantly supporting this. I'm so grateful, guys. Like, this is a big deal. Like, I came up with this idea last year, September. It didn't start until April, and it's so good to see you guys supporting this and showing love. I'm like forever grateful.
And thank you for this platform, because poets need platforms. This is a particular platform that is so cool because it lets us dive into ourselves, our process, lets us interact with a crowd, and it allows us to like dissect a piece where we can bring to light things we're going to miss, or things get brought to light with us that we didn't see, which is awesome.
That too, yeah.
And poets, I'm super guilty of this, being a vain guy, tend to make things about themselves. And this platform truly, and I mean this for anyone who provides platforms for poets. Shout out to Joel Green out there. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone who provides platforms to poets. It's providing such a service to us and allowing us to get out there. Because sometimes it would be all about us if it was us doing this. But the fact that you have something, you are bringing people on, letting us share ourselves is such a special thing. So this is a very special show.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
honored to be part of the finale. Yes! Very excited. Season 2 is going to come, and it's going to rock and roll, so be ready.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, guys. I love people, and I just love like bringing light to you guys' minds and who you are. Like, I just love people so much. So, yeah. Thank you, EA. The serious thought and excellent writing. Yeah, great job.
Thank you. She's incredible.
Yes, thank you guys so much for the love. Okay, so look out for his new book. He's gonna let you guys know. Follow him on Instagram at _, French Fry King. And yes, and then Potbelly Waltz with a Z is on Amazon. Just type that into your search engine and make sure you support him. And yeah, are you doing open mics anywhere?
Wherever I can find them, hit me up with them. The Cola Lounge is a common one. I don't make it out there much because it's really far from my house, and I usually work both my jobs on the day that they have the open mic. It's usually the first Wednesday of the month. Well, it's on a Wednesday, anyways. But it's a cool open mic. Any open mics you know of, throw them at me. I'm thinking about starting one in Ypsilanti when I have a little bit more time in the future, but I got a lot of things coming up on the back burner. And when they are announced, they're going to be announced big with a lot of publicity. You're going to hear about them. If you do share them, please get the word out there. They're on their way.
Yes. Shout out to one of my sponsors who helped us with this beautiful space. I love it so much, you guys. Their information is in the bio. If you ever want to rent a space, you can have a wedding, a mini wedding, a micro wedding. You can have your podcast here, your show, whatever you want to do here. You can rent the space. So the information is in the bio. And if anybody else wants to sponsor, hit us up, info@poetspitch.com. I need more sponsors. And then also feel free to support through Cash App with the $ Poets Pitch. So we would appreciate donations. And yeah, that wraps our show.
Yes.
You mean final words?
Just thank you so much for your support. Big shout out to my family, my friends. I wouldn't be who I am without you. Thank you so much. And yeah, love all you guys. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the season finale.
Woo!